We finally have a release date for the Fatesworn DLC, which is expected by us, the gamers, the community still loving Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning, to be good enough to rekindle the praise of the crestfallen RPG in hopes of the HQ Nordic thinking about a sequel about the game, for the game. It will release on December 14th, this very same year, meaning this very same Christmas, meaning just 2 weeks from now on. Do have in mind though that Nintendo Switch version of DLC is not included in this release date, which has something to do with Nintendo licenses, permissions, and that weird stuff that we do not understand because it's just Nintendo, dude. It still sucks for the players on Nintendo. Hang in there though. It shouldn't take long either for the DLC to be there on the Nintendo consoles. What is up, you damn gorgeous and beautiful gamers? Welcome back to Role-Playing Games. This is merely a corner in the internet where we like to discuss about RPGs. Before we move on with the matter at hand, I would very much like always to invite you to like the video, to spare me a like in the video, a subscription if you haven't already. We discuss about RPGs in here. That being said, along with the release date, we got a whole bunch of information that we will be breaking down, and should be the main subject of this video. First, a brief recap of what Fatesworn will be, thanks to the information, interviews, sources, and the video description of course. Agarth comes to us at the main ending of the game. A distant ruler's in distress, and it's up to us, the faithless one, to help. This was stated on one of my previous videos. Info from interviews as well, sourced in the video description, and thanks to the little trailer that we have for the DLC, it seems that nothing changed, and they did follow the same pipeline for the script that they originally had. So, we have to take our bags, head to Gale Crossing and fight against the Niskaru and all of those little brats that we love to tear apart. Now let's talk about the new additions, which are the following. New storyline, new environment, new enemies, new quests and missions, and these were already expected, nothing new nor interesting here. However, we do have new mechanics and additions for the DLC. We will have the Chaos Realm dungeons spreading all over of Amalur. This actually makes me a little bit conflicted about how they envisioned the story first as an endgame event. Maybe it is still the case, but for me it would very much make sense that when you resurrect, the Chaos Realm portals start to appear all over Amalur instead of waiting for the main endgame for that to happen to trigger. It would add so much freshness to playthroughs with the gear and stuff that we will be getting from those, because yes, that's another addition. There will be more sweet, beautiful loot for us to gather around in the world. There's also a new skill tree, and boy is this going to be amazing. I was quite worried about what would be the new additions for this DLC, and if they were going to be worth it, so that we might bypass all of the problems that the remaster carried. And having a brand new skill tree is such an invitation to just play the game once again, once more. I've done enough playthroughs to try different builds, but they're still the same from back on the original launch. Now we have a new playstyle, we have a new skill tree, and if the Chaos Realms spreading on Amalur end up being a thing from the very start of the game, it is indeed going to add so much freshness to experience Kingdoms of Amalur from zero once again. Alongside that, previously mentioned as well, there will be new weapons and armor. Nothing mentioned about transmog here. Hope it ends up being in the game. Gear progression in Amalur basically makes some stuff useless after you get it and level up, and you cannot farm stuff on dungeons again. A system that, in my personal opinion, should have had been changed from the very remaster. But anyways, there is also 10 more levels, and this was something that you guys mentioned in my videos in the comments. I am glad that they did add this thing that was expected by gamers, that we have shown this on the community. It is only natural that they added the 10 levels, because when you have a new skill tree, they would break the Universalist build with a new skill tree if they did not add more levels. I frankly doubt we will be getting more skills for the existing trees, but rather this was a change of balance to Universalist builds thanks to the new skill tree. That's just me guessing about stuff. Last but not least, new soundtrack. I've always loved the music from Kingdoms of Amalur. Narratively speaking, it builds this beautiful fairy tale atmosphere that Kingdoms of Amalur builds with R.A. Salvatore's narrative for the Faelands. Grant Kirk composed the new tracks. And if you're not familiar with his work, which I highly advise you to go check it out, he's the original composer of Kingdoms of Amalur's soundtrack, which is something I've always loved about Amalur. That vibe, that sense of a fairy tale world that's building around with those little notes sounding. I just appreciate way too much the soundtrack in video games because they add so much artistic design to the games. And if we talk about more credentials, he started composing for Rare and those games that we love from our youth. Outside from Rare, he has worked in World of Warcraft, Shadowlands, Mario, Ninja Gaiden. Amalur had a whole lot of talent behind it back in the day, which is why it ended up being so good despite the mismanagement from back then. But that is another story. Anyways, do let me know what do you guys think about all of this brand new information in the comments below. Are you now newly excited about the whole new additions that we have with the DLC? I have to say that I am certainly am. I have to say that I was also quite worried when all this happened, when it was announced that it was just going to be 5 hours DLC, being so-called expansion. 5 hour, you cannot call an expansion to 5 hours, but anyways, do let me know what you guys think about all of this information in the comments below. Are you excited to go back to Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning once Fatesworn comes out? That being said, that was all for today's video. I hope that you guys have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. And remember that if no one has told you today that you're gorgeous and damn gorgeous, beautiful gamer, beautiful person, then you are indeed a beautiful person. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. I'll see you later.